So now you should see my screen, and on the screen you should see the Monroe College webpage, monroecollege.edu. Over here, these three horizontal lines, you'll see the link for current students. So when you click on those three horizontal lines, you'll be able to get quick links to my Monroe and the virtual library. So if you click on that, the library's webpage will open, and you'll get to the Monroe College Library's homepage. And the reason I point that out to you today is because the virtual library means that you can actually meet one-on-one with a librarian. So you can click on that link and join a Blackboard virtual library room with a librarian and ask questions. So, and you can see here the hours that are available. So you can always pop into the virtual library and ask questions. There's going to be a librarian there to assist you. And then if those times don't work for you, that's okay. Please send an email to library@monroecollege.edu, library@monroecollege.edu, and we'll be able to assist you via email. That's an option too. So please make sure that as you have questions going forward that you ask those questions. So when I'm logged into my Monroe and when you're logged into my Monroe, you should see this library resources icon. But if you log in and you don't see that link, you do need to go ahead and check it right now. Go ahead and check to make sure that you have that My Monroe link. If you don't, then that email address that I pointed out to you, library@monroecollege.edu, email us right away and say, this is my first and last name, this is my student ID number, and I don't see this link to library resources when I log into my Monroe. And click on that. These are the steps that you're going to take in order to start to look for your research articles, or the research article, your very first one, that will help you research information on your research question and topic. So when you scroll down, you'll see this link to databases. And what the databases are the tools that you use to access lots of different articles, publications, reports that you don't have access to as a private individual. This has happened to everybody, which is that you go and you're browsing on the web, you click on something to look at it, and you get an error message that says, oh, you need to log in order to view this resource, or you need to pay something in order to view this resource. But as a Monroe College student, you actually have access to a lot of different publications. But the way that you access all those different publications is by logging into My Monroe and using the library resources databases. Okay. So this long list of databases can be a little bit overwhelming. I don't want you to be overwhelmed by it. I'm going to use one example of a database so that you can kind of just see the techniques that you'll be using. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be using the education database to look at my research topic. So I'll click on that, open up the database, and let me put on the screen what my question is. Just let me put on the screen. This is the research question that I'm working on. Okay, so what have researchers found about the effects of social pressure on young adults' academic performance? Okay, that's the research question I'm trying to find a research article on. So when I come to the database, I always want to select this full text option, full text, okay? And the full text option is to ensure that you're only looking at resources where you can read the full article, okay, which you will always want. So always select that option. And then in this box, we don't want to put in our full research question, okay? That's too many words, and it includes a lot of words that I don't need to appear because it's not actually related to my topic. So words like what and have and about and those words don't have anything to do with my topic. So if I put those in there in my search, the database is going to be looking for those words, which is not helpful to you. So I really want to focus on the words that have a lot of meaning in relationship to my topic. So for one example is adolescence, pressure, academic performance, okay? So I put in who I'm talking about, who I'm focusing on here, adolescents, young adults, and I'm looking at the topics related to that group of people, that group that I'm interested in researching about, which is I'm looking at pressure that they experience regarding their academic performance. okay? So I really want to focus on just keywords, words that are really related to my topic and really convey the meaning of my topic. Doesn't mean these are the only words we're going to try. It just means that as we're getting started with our research, we don't know all the different terminology associated with this topic, so we're going to learn as we go, okay? So as I'm researching, I'm actually going to find that some other words that I could use might be things like, instead of academic performance, I could also use the phrase academic pressure, or instead of pressure, I could talk about criticism and academic performance. Or I could look at, for example, adolescence and parental pressure regarding academic achievement or academic performance. Now, I didn't have any ideas about these different terms to try until I started to research, and then I started to learn these terms. So as I'm researching, I always want to jot down any terms that I find that might be related to my topic that I could try instead, because I'm never going to just stop with that one set of keywords. I'm going to try different words in order to find additional research on my topic. Okay, so that's just going to be an idea of what we're going to try, a technique that we're going to try, which is to try different words here in the search box, okay? And it's okay if you don't know what those words are. You're going to learn them as you start to look more into your topic. So let's go ahead and get started with the keywords that we put in. So we said we only wanted to look at full text before we start to look at our results here. A couple other limits that we want to put on our search is that we want to say what type of article, what type of source we want to use. So we're not looking for news articles. We don't need newspapers. We don't need magazines. We really want to focus on research articles. And research articles are found in scholarly journals, sometimes called academic journals, sometimes called academic publications. But we're looking for scholarly journals, academic publications. So we're going to select the source type of scholarly journals. Now, not every article in a scholarly journal is a research article, but research articles will be found in scholarly journals. Other things that can be found in scholarly journals are things like maybe editorials or opinion pieces or histories on a topic or overviews on a topic. And those are good articles, but those are not the type of articles that you're looking for right now. You're looking for a research article, which is when we ask those two questions. What did the researchers do to conduct this study, and then what did they find? So that's how we'll determine whether it's a research article. The last limit we're going to put on to our search before we start to look at our search results is to limit our search to only more recent research on the topic. So I don't need to look at research on academic performance in adolescence from the 1950s. That's really not going to bear relevance on what the situation is today. So I want to make sure that I'm looking probably within the last 10 years. Kind of depends on what your topic is. Obviously, if I was researching a topic related to the coronavirus pandemic, I wouldn't need to look at anything less than that's older than 2 years old, because there wouldn't have been any research that would have been related to my topic. So just sort of relate your date range, your publication date range, sort of depends on your topic, but I'll say if you're not sure, 10 years is a good place to start. So I'll say I only want to look at research that was published between 2012 and 2022. And then I can update my search again. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of any results that are not, I know that are not going to be helpful to me, because I know older research isn't going to be helpful to me. I know I don't need news articles, so I'm going to try to get rid of those before I start to look at my results here. All right, so now let's try looking at some of these articles. So whenever we look at an article, we're going to try to decide two things. Is it related to my topic, and is it a research article? If it's a research article, in order to determine whether it's a research article, that's when we're going to ask those two additional questions, which is how was the study conducted and what was found by the researchers. If I can't figure that out, it might not be a research article. Okay, so but the two main things we need to figure out first are, is it related to my topic, and is it a research article? So let's start to take a look here. So I'm going to really base my decision based on these blue article titles. Okay, so I'm going to read the blue article titles, and I'm going to make a decision based on those titles about whether I think it's going to be related to my topic or not. So let me start to scroll down a little bit and look at some of these options here. Okay, and you'll notice I'm going to open them up in a new tab. You don't have to do that. You could just click on them, but I like to open up my articles in a new tab so that I can keep this page of results, search results open and get back to it easily instead of having to hit the back button over again. Okay, let me see what else we have here. Just looking at these blue titles, see what looks interesting to me. Let's see here. And there's usually about 20 results, 10 to 20 results on a page. So I'll at least want to look at the first page of results to see if I'm on the right track with my the words that I'm using. If I'm not finding anything, then I may need to change my search because I may not be using words that are appropriate to my topic. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Okay, so let's take a look at one of these articles here that I opened up. So when I open up my article, a lot of times I'm going to find an abstract. And the abstract is the summary of the entire article. So essentially in roughly one paragraph, it's going to try to tell me what the entire article is about. Okay, so in the abstract here, I'm going to click on more so I can see the full abstract. And I'm going to take a look at it. Okay, so right off the bat, I see something that could be interesting to me, which is they have these little subheadings even in the article, which in this case, I'm sorry, even in the abstract, in this case, these little headings are actually giving me a good indication about what type of article this is. The abstract doesn't always have headings like this, but this one happens to, which is nice. So let's take a look at it. So right off the bat, it tells me that this section here is the design methodology approach section. So those are some keywords here that give me a good indication about how a study is conducted, how. So the words design, methodology, study methodology, methods, approach, those are all different ways of talking about how a study was conducted. And in this case, we know that they used a questionnaire to collect information from 400 adolescent students. Okay, so I think I see how this study was conducted, which gives me a sense that this could be a research article. Let me ask the second question, which is what did the researchers find? Again, these headings here are giving me a pretty good indication. They're not always there in the abstract, but if they are, that can be helpful to me. So the word findings or results could be an indication to me that this is a research article because they're telling me what they found, their findings, their results. So those are some key words that you really want to pay attention to. Study design, methodology, study methods, approach, data collection, and then thinking those are words that will be related to the how a study is conducted, or when we're thinking about what a study found, findings, results, those could be all indications of the fact that this is a research article. So I'm going to say this article is a research article. Now the last thing I need to do is figure out, is it related to my topic? Is it going to help me with my research article or with my research question? So what's the purpose of this article? They're looking at academic stress and how, let's see here, how it impacts students, academic stress. So let's see here. I'm looking at their findings. They all demonstrated academic stress. We talked about different levels of stress and how they are related to grades. Okay, so I'm going to say that it is related to my research topic here, looking at what we've learned about pressure on academic performance in young adults. Okay, I think that this would be helpful to me, this article. And so if I can't tell, if I couldn't have told that from my abstract, the next step that I would take is to scroll down and look at the full text of the article. Sometimes I can scroll down and read the full text of the article. Sometimes I need to click on the PDF version in order to review the full article. But I'm actually going to do the same thing. If I couldn't have told from the article whether either one of those questions, which is it related to my topic, and is it a research article, I would start to scroll down and look at all the headings. So look at introduction, look at method. Okay, so that again, if I couldn't tell that from the abstract, finding a section called method and design would start to indicate to me that this is a research article. So if I can't tell from the abstract, I can still look at the article without reading the full article at this point. Right now, I'm going to read the full article later if I determine it's a good article for me. But without reading the full article, I can still make a determination about whether this might be a good research article to help me answer my research question. So let's say I have found that this is a good research article, then and then it's related to my topic, I'm going to hold on to that article, okay? Because not only do you know that your homework assignment is going to need you to find at least one research article. So that's what our goal is going to be in a little bit, is for you to start to search and start to look for your first research article, and that you do need to email it to yourself and hold on to that article. So, but you're going to be doing more of this later on as well. So I don't want to forget the things that I found. I don't want to waste my time trying to find those articles over and over again. That's a waste of your time, and it really slows up the research process. So I'd say whenever you find something that you think is going to be helpful, go ahead and hold on to it right then. Now, when you're browsing on the open web, meaning that you haven't logged into MyMonroe in order to access the databases, like let's say I did a Google search and I found something that was useful to me, I might select this web address here, but I'm not going to do that when I'm using the databases, and you're going to be using the databases to find your research articles, not Google at this point, okay? So I'm not going to hold on to that web address there, and the reason why is that when I'm logged into MyMonroe, this web address is actually specific to that login session, and it won't necessarily work again. Sometimes it will, but it won't consistently. So don't use the URL in order to get back to this article. You want to, in this case, you want to go ahead and email that article to yourself. So if I click on email, let me click on it again, email. Here we go. I can select that I want the full text of the article sent to me. I would say that whenever there is the PDF option, I want to actually select the PDF option, because if there are any tables or charts or images in an article, then the PDF version of the article will preserve all of those things. So if I have a PDF version, I'm going to go ahead and say that I want that full PDF attached to an email and sent to me. I'm going to put in my email address here, whatever email address is convenient for you. I'm going to put in the name, my name, and then I'm going to click on continue to send it to myself. Okay, so excellent. That will be perfect. Some other things that will help you make sure that your research process is as seamless as possible and that you're not wasting time. You know that you have to create a reference page in the future, meaning that a list of all the different resources that you're using in your assignments. So the Cite button here, Cite, go ahead and click on that, can help you create a reference for this particular article. So we want to use the newest version of APA 7th edition. You can just use the basic version here. And it's going to give you an example of what that reference for this particular article could look like on your references page. Now don't feel overwhelmed as you're still learning APA. That's okay. It just takes a little time to feel comfortable with it, but you want to use all the tools that you have at your disposal, and this is one of the tools that you have. So I would say go ahead and copy that and paste that somewhere. Copy it, paste it maybe in the email that you sent yourself here. So I will click on, before I can send it, I have an ability to put a message into myself when I send that email. So I could put that reference there. I could paste it into a document and just hold on to it. It doesn't matter how you hold on to it, but just hold on to it so that it'll help speed up my process later when I have to put together my reference list. And then keep in mind that you do have the option of downloading this article to your computer. If it's easier for you to download documents to your computer, you can also print the article. So there's a lot of different ways you could hold on. All right, so once I've decided that this is a good article for me, I'm going to go back to my list of results, and I'm going to go on to the next page and say, okay, what other articles are here that might be related to my topic, and is it a research article? So I'm going to continue to make those assessments over and over again. But let's say I start to look at this whole page and I don't find anything that's related to my topic or nothing that's a research article. That's probably a pretty good indication to me that I need to switch up the words here too. So I might, instead of putting academic, instead of typing these exact words, I might use some of those other words that we were talking about in order to get different results with my topic. So maybe parental expectations and academic achievement or performance. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that I could talk about my topic, but I don't necessarily know those things until I start to read my articles, and then I start to learn different ways of talking, so pressure, expectations, different words that I can use to talk about my topic in different ways, different terminology that's being used. So, and so I'm going to use different words to pull up different results here. And then remember, I also have different databases that I can try too. So based on my degree, I usually have at least one other option, another database I can try to find articles on my topic. We've had a lot of different techniques to use to get started looking for articles. So this is really the time that you're going to start looking for articles.